In the late 1700s, London was a city of stone and smoke. While most people saw only the dark reality of the industrial sprawl, William Blake saw angels clustered in the branches of the trees. His contemporaries dismissed him as a madman, but history has reframed him as a prophet. He lived largely unread, yet he provided the foundation for some of the most profound spiritual thinking in the West. Blake refused to let his mind be shaped by the rigid systems of his time. He famously claimed he had to create his own mythology from the ground up, or face enslavement by the ideas of another man. The Enlightenment had turned the world into a series of predictable mechanical laws. Even the technology of the era, like these massive, rigid printing presses, reinforced the idea of a mass-produced reality. Blake's physical act of rebellion was illuminated printing. He etched his poems and illustrations onto copper plates by hand, then hand-colored every page with his wife, Catherine. This gave him absolute control over every copy. This painstakingly manual process meant his art functioned as a physical barrier against the encroaching Industrial Revolution. He was physically building a sanctuary for the human imagination. Blake described the materialism of the Enlightenment as a cavern. By focusing exclusively on reason and logic, thinkers like Isaac Newton were trapping the human soul in a dark, narrow view of existence. To escape this cavern, Blake insisted that the doors of perception had to be cleansed. If we could clear away the clutter of pure reason, we would see that reality is actually infinite. He called this fourfold vision. It is the ability to look through the eye rather than with it, allowing emotion and imagination to reveal a world that physical sight alone cannot reach. Central to this vision is Albion, the primordial man who represents the collective consciousness of humanity. In Blake's myth, Albion falls from grace and splits into four conflicting psychological powers, known as the four Zoas. The first is Urizen, the tyrant of cold reason. He is depicted as an elderly man, using a compass to measure and restrict the universe. The other three powers are Luva, representing passion, Tharmas, representing the physical body, and Los, the hero of imagination, who attempts to reconcile them all. Because these four forces compose the human mind, Blake concluded that God is not a distant figure in the sky. To him, the poetic genius within us is the divine presence, and our internal psychological struggles are the true work of the spirit. Blake mapped the journey of the human soul through four distinct states of existence, each representing a higher level of awareness. At the base is Ulro, a psychological hell of pure materialism and isolated logic, where the soul feels entirely alone. Above that is Generation, the world of our daily lives, where we struggle with biological needs and constant duality. Next is Beulah, a state of peaceful emotional rest and innocent love, where the soul can recover from the stresses of the world. The peak is Eden. This is a state of organized innocence, characterized by intense, radiant creative energy and the full use of the imagination. This map shows that Blake's goal was not a return to childhood ignorance. He believed we must pass through the pain of experience to reach a higher, battle-tested wisdom. Approaching William Blake's work can be daunting. If you begin with his complex epic poems, the sheer scale of his mythology can feel impenetrable. The most accessible gateway into his universe is Songs of Innocence and of Experience. Read these poems aloud. The specific rhythmic cadence of his words is designed to bypass the analytical mind and produce a physical reaction in the listener. Blake challenges us to join a mental fight, to use our arrows of desire to actively build a more compassionate and imaginative world in the here and now. He asks us to look at the smallest things until we see the infinite. To see a world in a grain of sand is to exercise the divine capacity of the human eye. To Blake, the ultimate act of worship is the decision to recognize the infinite potential waiting inside our everyday reality.